Hello and welcome to BQ Prime. A very good afternoon to all the viewers. One stock that is in focus on the back of earnings is JK Paper. Clearly, if you see the total income on a consolidated basis has seen a growth of around 30%. Profits have improved by almost 65%, and it's mainly higher prices for paper and packaging boards and the ease in input cost that has aided profitability this time around. Joining us on the show to discuss more is Mr. A.S. Mehta, President and Director at JK Paper. Good afternoon and welcome to the show, Mr. Mehta.
Very good afternoon. Very good afternoon.
Mr. Mehta, my first question coming to you is overall, from a volume perspective, as well as the way the Q4 numbers have panned out, has it met your internal expectations?
I would say that the Q4 I expected a bit better than it is actual. And predominantly the reason is that the packaging board demand was not up to the mark. And in fact, we suffered on the packaging board to some extent because our utilization of capacity was something around 90-95%. And we expected more. Also, there was a drop in prices of packaging board, and it was something around 10% price drop in packaging board, which was substantial to my mind. And of course, there was a drop in pulp prices, but the impact of the reduced pulp consumption has not come in the Q4, which is likely to happen in the fiscal year 23-24. So overall, but I would say that the margin has been a decent margin. And of course, the result, whichever result you have, expectation is likely to be more than what you do. But I am pretty happy with the result for the Q4, particularly for the year 22-23. The yearly result has been outstanding, and I am very happy for the result 22-23 year as a whole.
Right. So that's with regards to the year. So in terms of the growth that we've seen, how much of it has been volume led and how much of it has been pricing led?
See, I would say that close to 30% is the volume led and balance is the pricing.
Right. And overall, if you see in terms of, the current utilization as well, as you mentioned, it was 95%. Clearly, the idea was that probably it will go up to almost 100%, right? So what is it that has not gone wrong? Is it mainly the demand side?
Yeah, it's a mainly demand side because the JK Paper is known for using the production facilities up to the best of level of 100% plus. And if the market would have been slightly favorable market, we could have utilized 100% of the capacity, which we are likely to do in 23-24.
Okay. So on a blended basis, what has been the capacity utilization?
On the blended basis, our utilization is close to 101%.
Okay, so it's come down as compared to, marginally as
Yes.
compared to the third quarter.
Yes.
Apart from that, if you see from a demand perspective, there was a contraction in the packaging board demand in the third quarter as well to the tune of around 5 to 10%. By how much has it come down now?
No, I would say that it will continue at the same level of 90-95%. In the month of April, it was the same, and May also likely to remain at that level. But I would expect that from June onward, it should move beyond 95%, and thereafter, from July onward, when the time for packaging board is just right because the demand starts picking up from May, June. So that time we should be doing 100%.
Right. If you see from a pulp price perspective, what's the trajectory looking like from here on?
See, the pulp prices have been is coming down month after month, and now we see a level of $500 a ton. See, going forward, I would say that in short term, it may remain at that level, $25 plus minus. But long run, I always say that the pulp prices should be in the band of $550 to $600 a ton.
Okay. And apart from that, the other aspect that everyone keeps monitoring from a paper perspective is China production, right? So in terms of China, how is the production looking like and what's the kind of impact you're seeing on our markets?
See, we don't foresee a major impact because of China
Hmm.
Because the writing and printing paper, it is except the packaging, except the coated paper. I mean, we don't get many items from China in India because the office paper and the printing paper, we are self-sufficient. So there is no major import from China. In fact, it is from Indonesia. It's not from China. The China, some quantity of packaging board comes, but they're all stock lots and the rejected. The virgin packaging board, it doesn't come from China, a sizable quantity, because India, the five of the Indian producers, we have a adequate capacity to cater the customer need in the country.
Hmm. And from a market share perspective, where do we stand in individual segments? Because if I'm not mistaken, in copier we were close to around 29 to 30%.
Yes, we are in the copier, we are close to 30%, and we would remain in that the range. I would say that 30% plus minus 1.5% here or there, and we would maintain that market share. The packaging board, I would say that we should be close to 19-20% now, because at one point of time before this capacity, we were at the 9%, 10%. After this new capacity, we have come back to a level of 20%, 19-20%. And in fact, we should be inching up in the packaging board.
Okay. And Mr. Mehta, clearly from a Capex perspective, is there any Capex that we are planning in any of the segments from here on in FY24?
See, 24, the Capex is not going to be on any major capacity addition. We will be doing something on debottlenecking, balancing, normal maintenance Capex, and some improvement Capexes. That's all, because the last year only we spent 2,000 crore rupees. So let me again build my cash flow and thereafter plan for something else.
Okay. And overall, if you see in terms of growth from here on, what is it that we are looking at? Because initially as well, we've increased our top line guidance from 6,000 crores to 6,500 odd crores for FY23. What is FY24 expected to look like?
Yeah, I would say that we should be doing 7,000 plus now.
Okay. And any newer markets that we're looking to enter or any newer segments that we are looking at?
See, we have acquired the corrugation business last year and it was in December. So, in fact, now we will learn this trade and our effort would be to utilize the corrugation capacity. So, in fact, right now the utilization would be close to 60%. And in fact, we would like to do as much as we can. But in that industry, what I understand is that 70% plus utilization is considered to be a very good utilization. So our effort would be to increase the capacity utilization of the corrugation business. That is going to be one more focus area in time to come now.
Right, and what's the kind of revenue contribution we are looking at from the corrugation business from FY24 onwards?
See, I would say that from the existing acquisition and also our own Punjab plant, put together, I would expect something around 1,300 to 1,400 crore top line from the corrugation business.
Right. And very lastly, anything that you would want to tell all the investors from a business perspective?
Sorry, what was the question?
I said any message for all the investors from a business perspective?
Oh, no, I would say that the JK paper has been delivering good result and good value for all the stakeholders, and the whole team JK paper. The effort is going to be that we remain the benchmark paper company, and we remain a benchmark innovative company, and we remain benchmark in the customer centricity and market driven company, and that will reward us in time to come.
Right. So I think that's a good number from here on. And a 7,000 crore top line is what we should be targeting as well for FY24. Thank you, Mr. Mehta, so much for joining us on the show. A pleasure as always to speak to you as well. So that's the management of JK Paper clearly indicating that a 7,000 crore revenue is what they're targeting in terms of FY24. And in addition to it, margins is something that they have been happy with. Very lastly, market share gains is what they're looking at. And July is the month where we will see some bit of additional business that could start coming in terms of segments which have been weak as well. And the corrugated box business is something that they are looking to expand and increase the utilization level. So, overall, a good number there with regards to JK paper. That's all that we have on this session. Watch out for the management of CCL products next as well. Thank you so much.